From the campus of Yale University, this is Business Talk with Jim Campbell, nationally syndicated across the country on the Biz Talk Radio Network and coming to you from our flagship stations, Yale Radio WYBC and 1490 AM WGCH Greenwich. All talk and all business, 60 minutes of radio with leading figures from the world of business along with the business of politics and sports. We go inside the entertainment world, the making of a movie and getting it to market with the lead actor who's behind Yes, the Movie, which co-stars an actor from the hit TV series Modern Family, due out this year, 2019, and offering opportunities for our listeners to become involved. That's all tonight on Business Talk with Jim Campbell. Tim Realbuto began performing on stage at an early age. His long list of New York theatrical credits include Oliver Twist and Oliver, Judas and Jesus Christ Superstar, Naphtali and Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Billy Crocker and Anything Goes, the acclaimed Shakespeare in the Park production of Romeo and Juliet, in which Tim starred as Romeo Montague. I didn't know the last name. Among many other credits, Tim is a member of the Screen Actors Guild, Actors Equity Association. Appearances include performance at Carnegie Hall, the New York City Opera at Lincoln Center, Madison Square Garden, I hope not for the Knicks, and singing the national anthem for the Brooklyn Cyclones baseball league. Welcome, Tim. It's an honor to have you here.
Oh, it's such an honor to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we're kind of excited because we don't get much chance to go into the entertainment business, so it'd be interesting. Tell us a little bit first. You're involved in acting, in the theater. You write. You're doing a movie now. Tell us about you.
About me? Well, when I was 5 years old, I started acting. I went off to school for acting. And then after I graduated college, I started writing. I started writing parts for myself because it was hard to get, auditioning was hard, and then they weren't casting me. And I wrote a musical with my best friend, Matthew Martin, and then I started writing plays, and I wrote this great play called Yes, that played all throughout New York off-Broadway, and then we took it to Detroit, we took it back to New York, and that's where this all came about.
How'd you learn to deal with rejection and all that stuff? How tough is it to make it in the business?
Any day now, I'll learn how to deal with rejection. I have no idea. It's very hard. I have a thick skin, luckily. I tell people that if you, whenever I'm asked for advice, that if you can see yourself doing anything else, do that. But for me, I just started writing, and I was getting my creative fulfillment out in that way. Mm-hmm. I was getting rejected from a lot of auditions, which I was, and people weren't writing parts that were right for me, so that's why I started writing parts that were right for me. I always tell people, don't just go on auditions. Write music, write plays, write screenplays, do stuff, go do like concerts and cabarets, and keep your artistic juices flowing, and then the rejection won't feel as bad because you'll be performing nonstop.
Did you? So, are you passionately driven? And that's kind of like I'm willing to do anything and sacrifice financially until I get there.
Oh yeah, I really am. I really, really am.
Is this your first experience moving into the movies?
Well, I did some smaller movies when I was younger. I worked with Woody Allen. I had a small part, and I worked with Kevin Kline, a very small part. But this is my first principal leading role in a motion picture. It's also my first time on the business end of it, and it's also my first time writing and producing,
So you jumped right into the deep end. Now, first, before we go to that, what's it like working with Woody Allen?
Oh, crazy. He was crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Crazy in a great way. He's very much a perfectionist. He didn't like one of the buttons on my jacket, so he had the costumers come and sew up, take the button and sew it, cover it in velvet, and then bring it back. He was very much a perfectionist. So I guess I learned how to be a perfectionist from him.
And is he a good guy?
From the time I worked with him, he was a little weird, but
in what way?
Well, he didn't really want you talking to him, and he was very precise in his ways, and other people did the talking for him, and he was just very, very spastic. That's a good word. He didn't seem like a bad guy, and he's a very good director, but that's all I could say about him. I only worked with him for 2 days.
Yeah, interesting. All right, give us the backstory here of Yes.
Yes. Okay, so my friend told me about a play competition, and I decided to submit it, not knowing anything if I would get in or not. And the next week they told me I was in, and I did the very first production of Yes. It was a 2-person play at the time. Well, it's still a 2-person play, and we did it one night workshop, and then we did it again in Detroit, and then we took it back to New York for the Thespis Festival, and we added a scene. It was me and this other actor, Joe Blute. And then we took it off-Broadway to the Manhattan Rep, and we played there 3 separate occasions because of popular demand. We got great reviews. And somebody once said to me after one of those performances, this has to be a movie, and it never really crossed my mind. And then I kind of started thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, this would be a good movie, but since it's a 2-person play in one setting, I'm going to have to write the screenplay, and all the characters that we talk about are going to have to really be there. We're going to have to go to different locations to keep it, interesting for a film audience.
Is it tough to write a screenplay?
Well, it depends. With Yes, it wasn't, because I knew the story so well, and so I had no writer's block. And I feel like I knew these characters, even though, like, a character of my sister, played by Jenna Lee Green in the movie, we just talked about her in the play, but I feel like after doing the play for so many years, I feel like I really knew her, so writing her was pretty easy.
Interesting. Tell us a little bit about what is Yes about?
Yes is about my character, Patrick Nolan, who was a pretty famous child star. He was on a TV show called Conrad Sinclair, think like Boy Meets World or something like that, and he was very, very famous. Once he got a little older, he did a couple of Broadway shows. He was very well respected, and then the work wasn't coming for him, so he started teaching. And when he was teaching, he got into this scandal with a minor. We don't know if it's true or not, but he got fired from the studio, and basically his life was over. He became a drunk. He gained 100 pounds. He completely became like a hermit, and he taught acting classes out of his apartment. Nobody remembered him anymore. But his sister drags him out to see a production of Romeo and Juliet that his niece is in, and he becomes infatuated with the young actor playing Romeo, and he feels like he wants to tutor him. He feels like he wants to mentor him. And so it's really about their relationships. It's a morality play. Who's right? Who's wrong? We want the audience, when I was going to say curtain, but when the lights come up in the movie theater, we want to know, was Patrick right? Was Jeremiah right? We have no idea, and there's really no right answer. It's really just this incredibly kind of twisted game that they play with each other, but they're also two commonly similar minds, if that makes sense. They play with each other. It's inappropriate. But I also love to write psychology, and I love to write how people think and what makes people tick. So who's the monster? Is it Patrick? Is it Jeremiah? Is it neither of them? Is it both of them? Is it society? Is it the business? So there's a lot to chew on when you see the movie, and I don't really want to give anyone a clear answer.
What I'm going to do now is I got a review of this play.
Yeah.
I assume you didn't write this. But
I did not.
It's pretty incredible. Given the obvious genius of Realbuto, he wrote, directed, acts to a fare thee well, and this riveting play was so wonderfully executed, so beautifully realized that I left the theater craving more Realbuto. From the moment the sloppily dressed Realbuto lumbers across the stage to open the door, shades of Orson Welles come to mind. Later on, the play progresses and Realbuto's acting becomes electrified. Visions of the late Philip Seymour Hoffman begin to surface. As the play unfolds, we are never quite sure what is real, what is not, what took place, what didn't take place in the lives of each character. Are they telling the truth, or are they acting for each other's benefit? And then there's the question, which is what the play is all about as to what exactly each character wants and eventually gets, for better or for worse, from each other. Realbuto's characters' rules on what is necessary to become a great actor are fired nonstop as if they're coming out of a machine gun. Among them, don't act for fame, don't act for awards. Throw everything that you learned about acting out the window, don't ever act again, he tells the kid, just be. That's an unbelievable review.
Oh, I was thrilled with that review.
You've got to be a guy with some talent. We're down to about a minute for this segment. Tell us who a couple of the stars are that are going to be in the movie.
Yeah, well, besides me, there's Nolan Gould from Modern Family, who plays Luke Dunphy, and there's Jenna Lee Green, who's known for Sabrina the Teenage Witch, as she played Libby Chesler. Oh, there's the Office star, Oscar Nunez, and there's Siobhan Fallon from Men in Black and Forrest Gump. She's and Saturday Night Live and The Golden Girl. She's very much a character actress, and we really have a fantastic cast all around.
All right, we'll be right back. This is Business Talk with Jim Campbell of the Biz Talk Radio Network, 350 stations around the country. Go to biztalkradio.com, find the station closest to you, listen over the Internet, get our podcast. We'll look into making and financing a movie in segment 2 with Tim. We're back with actor and developer of the upcoming Yes, the Movie film, Tim Realbuto, and we'll talk about the fun part now for a bit, making a movie. Tell us how it came about, and to me, I have this vision that movies are incredibly low odds, right? To get everything out. How'd you do it? What's it like moving from Broadway to film, et cetera?
It was a quick process, but it was a very difficult process. I had a meeting with our director, who loved the script, and gave me a contract and said, let's start raising the funds for this movie. And within 8 months, we had 8 months of pre-production, and then we were up. So in that 8 months, it was about raising money any way we can. It was about borrowing from people, getting some private donors, and borrowing and begging really family members and stuff like that, and to get up the money for not so cheap film,
Do you have to pay these guys, all the actors up front and everything?
I mean, yeah, everyone had to be paid. I decided that for me, I would take some points on the back end to save some money. But, all the other actors had to be paid, all the crew had to be paid, and they were amazing. They were top-notch.
Yeah.
We had a red camera, which is the top Hollywood camera, and it was just, they all had to be paid, and our locations had to be paid, and the crew had to be formed, and it was a lot. It was a lot of money, and I wasn't sure we were going to get it, and a lot of family, helping out.
Is pre-production, that 8 months, was that primarily raising money, or what else is going on during that period?
Well, during that time, we were also hiring, we were picking out the actors. Yeah. Us and our casting director, we were finding all the locations. And
the screenplay finalized, or is that always evolving?
Screenplay kept on changing. I also had to go do a lot of acting lessons because I was used to doing it on stage, and now I had to bring it down for the film version. It's a lot. What's
the difference? What's the difference that way?
The difference is that you are not playing for the balcony. You're playing for one person. You're playing for that camera lens. So I couldn't be screaming.
Oh, I see. So you're in the play. You're really conscious of reaching the back of the audience.
Yes, right. So I was told by Allison Janney at a SAG event. She's like, "You just have to trust your director," because I was so scared going into this. And she goes, "Don't worry, honey. Just trust your director. He will know. He will tell you what to do." And that's definitely true.
It would seem like a play to me would be more terrifying. You're live. You have to have remembered all your lines at one time, right?
Yes, it is. But I grew up doing theater, so that's my wheelhouse. This was completely different for me, so I have to thank my acting coach Anthony Abel for helping me with that.
You did not direct any of it yourself?
No, I did not want to. I was asked if I wanted to. I wanted Rob Margulies, who's our director. I wanted him to direct it. I had seen his work before. I don't know much about film or behind the camera. I was not about to make my first feature and be the director. No way. No way, no how.
So tell us, normally films are filmed out of sequence, right?
Yeah.
So how is that versus obviously a play's got to be done in sequence?
We were pretty much in sequence. There's a couple of things that were out. But we have big chunks of scenes that were something like 28 pages that we filmed in one day. Wow. which is unheard of, so I've been told. Big chunks of scenes that we would get done in one day. So we were out of sequence a bit. I remember the first day we filmed something that happens towards the end of the movie. But other than that, because we filmed in New York and L.A., but Nolan was in L.A. at the time. We were filming here, so he had to fly in, so he wasn't there the first day. So, everything wasn't, not everybody was there, so little things were filmed out of place. But for the most part, I would say we stayed in a pretty steady, we were pretty...
How long did it take to film it?
We had 11 days here in New York, and then we had 2 days out in Los Angeles, and then we had one pickup day here, and then a month later another pickup day. So I have no idea how many that is that I just said.
That's like 15 days.
Yeah, something like that. Something like 15 days, yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Now, is that really fast, I assume, for a movie?
Yeah, it is, so I'm told.
You guys
I'm told it was pretty fast, yeah.
So you guys must have a better work ethic in the theater business.
Yeah, I mean, you have to wake up super early and long days, but it's worth it.
Is it tough in the theater to be up for every show?
I haven't had a problem with that yet. I'm about to do a musical that has a long run, so we will see. But I haven't had a problem with that yet because there's a different audience every night, and the energy is different every night. So far, I've been pretty good with that. I'm always excited every time I get to go on stage.
All right.
I love a live audience.
Now the tougher part is the financing and everything.
Yeah.
Did you raise how much did you didn't have to raise the entire thing, right? Because you're still looking for some post-production funding, right?
Yeah. Well, we raised the entire thing for the to film, but now we're raising post-production.
Tell people what that means.
Post-production is paying the composer, and it's paying the sound guy, and it's paying the correcting, and it's paying the ADR, which is additional dialogue recording, and it's paying just all the things that come after. So all the festival submissions. There's so many things that come after. I was just in L.A. last week doing all of this recording, words that didn't look well, that didn't come out great in the movie because of sounds, outside. We have to re-record them.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes on. You have no idea how much goes on. There's a colorist that comes in and colors the movie and makes it look better, and it's super expensive. It's super expensive if you want it to look good. The special effects person comes in because we had a green screen. It's all money. It's all money.
Yeah.
So we thought we had to raise $5,500, and it turns out that we probably have to raise like twice as much. So my GoFundMe that I put up for post-production only did raise the $5,500 very fast, but I still do have it going. I just raised it up to $10,000, hoping that there are people out there who can help us out so that we can really get it done and pay off everybody that we need to pay off. Is the movie itself finished? Have you seen it? Oh, yeah, I've seen it a bunch of times. I just saw the final cut the other day, and it was
How is it coming?
Beautiful.
People think it looks great, or?
I mean, yeah, I'm very proud of it. I think it looks great. We're going to take one more little pass at it, and hopefully by June, we'll have our L.A. premiere in June, and then our New York premiere not that long after that.
And will it be in major theaters around the country? How does it?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to do the festival circuit first. There's a couple of festivals that we're probably going to be in. I can't really name them yet because we're not. We're still, in negotiations and stuff. But so we'll do the festival circuit, and then we'll see what our distributor wants to do.
All right. What's the festival circuit mean?
That means that we go to we're gonna go to all the indie festivals. You've heard of like Sundance and Tribeca and things.
I think there's one even here in Greenwich.
Yeah, I think there is. So we're going to go to as many of those as we possibly can, and that we get accepted into, and make the rounds and see who likes the movie, how it plays with audiences, see if there's any distributors there who want to distribute it, and maybe we'd like to get a little bit of a commercial run. It's not a Marvel movie. It's not a superhero movie. It's not going to get it's an independent film, so it's not going to get a big run. But we'd be very happy to, show it in some theaters in the big cities, and hopefully people will like it.
All right, we'll be back. Look a little more about how you could donate some money for the post-production so we get to see this thing out here. We'll be right back. From Philly to Fresno, Brooklyn to Boston, Data Cable Superstars has the best prices on installation of Cat 5 and Cat 6 wiring for cameras, computers, phone, and data, specializing in off-peak installs as to not interrupt your workflow. If this is an I need it done yesterday situation, then it's time to call Data Cable Superstars at 203-942-1427 or go to datacablesuperstars.com. That's Data Cable Superstars, all one word, .com. Data Cable Superstars, where estimates and big ideas are always free. And we're back with actor, writer, now movie producer Tim Realbuto, and we're watching as Yes, the movie from off-Broadway play gets turned into a movie, and we're watching how it gets out the door. So you need to raise some more money to get it into the theaters, right? And that means money and a distributor that would pick it up.
Yeah.
That's where you're at now? Okay.
That's our goal, yeah.
How much did it cost to make the movie? Are you allowed to say that? Or
I'm not really allowed to say it. I will say less than you think.
Okay.
But, yeah, well over 50.
How did you get the stars of that to work for that? Because you're paying them for 15 days kind of thing? Is that how they view it, or?
Yeah, they Nolan got like a lump sum and a couple of points on the back end, and people, it was amazing because people just they loved the script and they just wanted to do the work. Nolan has been saying Nolan gets paid a lot more money on Modern Family than we could ever give him. You know, he doesn't really need this money, but like he wanted to do a drama. He wanted to play this role, and my script had to be approved by all his managers and agents and 20th Century Fox where he works, and they checked off on it, and it was a dream come true to work with him because it was like Modern Family is like my favorite show, so it was quite. Is he good? Nice guy. Is he a nice guy? I mean, I know he's a good actor. Oh, nice! He's the most amazing scene partner. He gave me so much to work with. He came in so prepared, so ready. He's wonderful. Really? How old is he? He's wonderful. He just turned 20. Wow. How long does it take you to memorize these lines? Well, for me, I had been doing them for years, but that was like slight changes and stuff. But him, I don't know. He came in completely memorized. We only had one rehearsal out in L.A. before we came to New York for 2 days, and he was great. That's unbelievable. One day of rehearsal? We had 2 days of rehearsal in L.A. and a photo shoot. How many hours a day do you normally film? Like 7 to 7. So you were like 12 hours. Yeah. And 14, how many times would you redo? What is a scene? What's the length of a scene at a time? Well, like I said, that one time we did 28 pages was that was the whole day. Like the length of a scene, we usually do maybe like 1 or 2 pages at a time. And then yeah. And you might do several takes of that 1 or 2 pages. Yeah. Rob, our director, moves fast though. He does move fast. All right. So now, what kind of money do you think you need to get it into to finish post production? I would say probably another $5,000. Would be, and we would be able to pay off everybody and continue with the festivals. Okay, so you're pretty close, in other words. Yeah, I mean we're pretty close. Yeah. Okay, I didn't realize that. That's good. Okay, so people can donate you can tell them the GoFundMe address. Yeah, it's GoFundMe.com/yes-the-motion-picture. GoFundMe.com/yes-the-motion-picture. There you go, hyphen, right? Yeah, hyphen, I think it's just, don't put slashes beyond after comma. Right, don't put slashes, put hyphens. And I guess if you type my name, Tim Realbuto, into GoFundMe, you'll find it. Yeah, you probably could even type Yes, the Movie or something. Yeah. Or Yes, the Motion Picture. Yes, you have it here. Yes, the Motion Picture. I'm sure it'll come up. And but there's some pretty cool stuff here, too, because you can actually get credits and other tickets, etc. So let's go through some of the opportunities so the listeners can even become a producer if they want. Yes, so they could. Go through the various options. You already have, yeah. Well, let me see here on the page. Let's see. So we have personalized thank you on our Facebook, a thank you in the end credits, 1 ticket to the LA or New York premiere, 2 tickets to the LA or New York premiere plus access to the after party, an extra ticket to the premiere, and a signed prop from the film. And then there's 5 tickets to either premiere, an after party, and then there's dinner with a cast member in New York. Cost of the meal and drinks is included in your donation, plus an associate producer credit that will be prominently featured in the final credit sequence of the film. and you will receive IMDb credit.
Okay, so let me go through this now to help folks differentiate, and depending on what kind of thing you want to get. From $1 to $99, you get this thank you he started off with on Facebook, website, and the Twitter pages for the movie. For $100 to $299, you get a thank you in the end credits of the film. Does that mean you actually see your name in the film?
You will.
I'm going to do that one. You guarantee I'll get my name?
Yeah, when we say thank you, when everything comes up at the end, it's like, say special thanks, and the names will be there. That's
pretty cool. So that's $100 to $299. All right. You'll have to give me a ticket, too, though. For $300 to $499, you get the first two things we just went through, the credits and the mentions on Facebook, Twitter, etc., and one ticket to New York, the New York premiere or the L.A. premiere, which you're thinking now are going to be in June, right?
The L.A. premiere will hopefully, knocking on wood, will be in June. New York will be a little bit later.
Okay. $500 to $750 level GoFundMe. You get all of the things we've just mentioned, plus 2 tickets to the New York City or L.A. premiere and the after party.
Yes.
What's an after party like?
Oh, just hanging out with the cast, hobnobbing.
Pretty cool,
Taking pictures with the paparazzi.
$750 to $999. You get all of the above that we just went through, plus one more ticket to the premiere, and you get something signed, right?
You do, a signed prop from the film.
Prop from the film.
Something that's featured prominently. I haven't decided yet, but, it will be something that's prominently featured.
Okay, and after I read that great review, I'm sure there's going to be a lot that are going to go to the top level. That's $1,000 and above, and you get 5 tickets to either the premiere, the after-party dinner with a cast member in New York City, and that associate producer credit, and the IMDb credit that you mentioned. Now, what is the difference between an end credit and an associate producer credit?
Well, we're not going to have opening credits. I think the credits are going to be at the end. So it's just going to be basically your name, associate producer, on the screen with your name. The
$100 to $299 is going to just say thank you, though, right?
It's going to say like a small thank you, and at the very end of the credits. Yeah.
Okay. Would you mind mentioning my name in the movie 3 or 4 times?
Of course.
Again, that is GoFundMe.com/yes-the-motion-picture. And I'm sure if you just type in Tim Realbuto or Yes the Motion Picture in the GoFundMe, you'll get there.
Yeah. Realbuto.
Yep. And as we said, they don't need a lot more money. So if you want to go to the premiere, if you want to get your name in the credits, if you want to become an associate producer, like I'm sure Iannuzzi, you're already a producer anyway, right? We'll sign up. We'll set you back. What was that associate producer one on? That's $1,000, John.
I think that's a bargain.
It's a bargain. Yeah.
It's a bargain, right?
Who else could become an associate producer in a major movie? It's pretty cool. So let's do the remaining minutes of this segment. Okay. You've got something coming up next, right?
Yeah. I'm doing another film. It's been optioned as a film. It's based on a book. It's called Prisoners of Love by Deborah Bond. It's from New Haven Publishing. I will be playing I don't know if this sounds familiar to anyone, but I'll be playing Gardner Bourne, who is a Queens-born, corrupt Manhattan real estate developer. Now in prison. Now in prison. I don't know if that is timely or anything.
I think you're predicting future.
Maybe I'm predicting the future, hopefully, but I know. But that will be my character, and I'm very excited to dive into that. There's some really interested cast members, really A-list, who want to be a part of this movie, and I was the first person to be asked. I'm very honored. And
are you allowed to mention who's also under? No, okay.
No.
All right. Well, let me ask you about this.
Big ones.
This movie.
It's going to be exciting.
It's based on a fiction book, correct?
This is based on a fiction book. It's a wonderful story about 3 women who form very unlikely friendships, waiting for their husbands in a waiting room at a penitentiary. And I'm one of the husbands.
All right. And Deborah Bond knew Roy Cohn.
Deborah Bond did know Roy Cohn.
Wow, that's going to be.
Apparently, she's got a lot of I don't know. She's got a lot of gossip about him.
Does she know Trump?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
I've been told that the author has some bombshell info on Trump and Cohn and Ronald and Nancy Reagan that will probably be coming out soon. I don't know.
In the movie, or just leaked somewhere?
No, leaked somewhere. Oh, I don't know if I don't think we're going to touch it in the movie, but leaked somewhere.
And that's called Prisoners of Love?
This is called Prisoners of Love. Hopefully we start shooting in 2020.
Okay, sounds exciting. And now, as we finish up this segment in 2019, hopefully by the end of summer, yes, the movie will be out, Tim Realbuto's movie.
It will be, I hope. Yes, I think it will be.
And you can help get it done and get cool stuff for yourself by go to GoFundMe.com. Yes, _the_motion -picture. Just go yes the movie, yes the motion picture, Tim Realbuto. It sounds exciting. Tim has a website too, TimRealbutoOfficial.com, REALBUTO official.com. So let's hope we get this. We can help actually get this movie off the ground. You're listening to Business Talk.
Yes, the film as well. YesTheFilm.com.
Yes, the film. Oh, YesTheFilm.com. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Tim, thanks for your thanks for a few minutes. We really enjoyed it, and it's kind of exciting to see.
Thank you so much for having me.
We wish you the best of luck getting this thing off the ground.
Thank you.
Very talented guy, it sounds like.
Well, I can't wait for you to see it. I can't wait for all of you to see it.
We will be there. Thank you, Tim. And it's our final segment. We've been talking with Tim Realbuto, the actor, the writer, now the star behind Yes, the movie. And they're within $10,000 of being able to get through post-production and have everything all set to go to the market and distribute this film. And you can be involved in that. You can get yourself a motion picture credit on the screen of the movie. Pretty exciting and cool stuff. So where can you go? Go to GoFundMe and put in Tim Realbuto, REALBUTO, or Yes, the Motion Picture, Yes, the Film, and I'm sure you'll find it. For $1 to $99, in other words, not a huge donation, you will get a public thank you on Facebook, website, and their Twitter pages for Yes, the Film. For $100 to $299, you will actually get a thank you on the screen in the end credits at the end of the film, and that's the one that I intend to do so that I can see my name up there in the big lights, Hollywood. $300 to $499, you get all of the above. That's Facebook, website, Twitter thank yous, appearance in the end credits, and one ticket to the New York or L.A. premiere. The L.A. premiere is hoping to be in June. For $500 to $750, you get Facebook, website, Twitter thank you, end credit of the film, and 2 tickets to New York or the L.A. premiere. And you get to go to the after party and hang with the stars and take selfies with the movie folks. And again, they've got Nathan Gould co-starring, and he is Luke Dumfries from the ABC Emmy Award-winning hit series Modern Family. $750 to $999, you get all of the above, Facebook, website, Twitter thank yous, and credits of the film, 2 tickets to the New York City or L.A. premiere and the after party. And for this, you get all of that plus 1 more ticket to the premiere and a signed prop from the film. And for the big hitters, $1,000 and above, you get 5 tickets to either premiere and to the after party. You get a dinner with a cast member of your choice in New York City. And in this one, you get a big associate producer credit and IMDb credit, which is the Hollywood profile credits that everybody who's been a producer or down to an actor gets into. But you will actually get an associate producer credit on Yes, the Film. And again, this is Tim Realbuto's first film, and he was a star in the off-Broadway version, and he wrote it, and it's got tremendous reviews. His website is TimRealbutoOfficial.com, Tim, REALBUTO official.com, GoFundMe.com/ yes-the-motion-picture. We want to thank Tim Realbuto. We want to thank our audience for listening and hopefully help get this film off the ground and out into the indie market. And then we're going to talk about Forensic Talk with Jim Campbell, our new crime show that's going into syndication, coming right up on the Business Talk Radio Network and some affiliated stations around the country. So we're very excited about that. You're going to get a sneak preview of what Forensic Talk is all about. We want to thank everybody for listening to Business Talk with Jim Campbell, our national audience. This is Forensic Talk with Jim Campbell. All talk and all crime, the nation's biggest murders, financial crimes on Wall Street, the facts, the forensics, the inside stories today.
The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed is good. Greed is right. Greed works.
A poster child for the Enron, WorldCom, Tyco era of corporate greed and fraud. Was it prosecutorial abuse that led to the railroading of a legendary CEO? In his only broadcast interview since release from prison, setting history straight, Dennis Kozlowski was a 27-year veteran of Tyco, the last 10 years serving as CEO, building one of the most successful growth machines in the history of corporate America. Thousands of acquisitions until the downfall and a prison sentence of unprecedented length, serving more time than murderers. Dennis Kozlowski, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Jim. Nice to be here this morning.
You were accused of basically stealing $170 million from Tyco through undocumented secret loans, etc. You were in prison, I think, for over 100 months. The average homicide is 52 months. They tried to charge you under RICO, which is, criminal enterprise mafia. All 80 of those charges were shut out. You were tried by a state, not the federal. All this was documented, though, by Price Waterhouse and your board.
Yes, and the bonuses were all audited by outside auditors, so all that was there. I was accused and convicted of not having the bonuses appropriately approved by directors.
Which is why they call it stealing your own bonuses.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about reform items, prison and then governance. You sat in there. Do you have ideas for prison reform, or there's a lot of waste going on, right, of talent, and folks go back out on the street with nothing?
Prison reform should be high on everybody's agenda because it's such a drain on society. Yeah. I'm involved in the Fortune organization, which helps people coming out of jail to get back on their feet, providing housing, job training, and ultimately jobs.
Thanks to Dennis Kozlowski. That was a hugely fast hour, and really appreciate him coming by because he's keeping a low profile. He's not doing interviews, so it really means a lot that you've done this. Rumi Khan was convicted, sentenced to 1 year in prison for insider trading. She worked for Raj Rajaratnam at the Galleon Group hedge fund, for Intel, Trivium Capital, and IBM. Tell us briefly, what was prison like?
Your life, as you know, changes forever. I was not only lynched by the media, I had to go to prison after cooperating with the feds for 7 years, helping them crack the biggest insider trading case. I helped them with how the network of information works, everything.
The resurrection of SAC Capital into Point72 Asset Management. Hedge fund titan and Greenwich resident Steve Cohen's firm, forced to shut down by the government on allegations of insider trading, reemerging as a family office. First up, Doug Hayes is the president of Point72 Asset Management. Prior to joining Point72, he was director at McKinsey. He's worked for the CIA and General Electric. Welcome, Doug. Good to have you.
Thank you, Jim.
So I want to start off just with the scope of the challenge that you were given, and this is from the criminal complaint. The indictment charges the management of a major hedge fund with criminal responsibility for insider trading offenses committed by numerous employees, made possible by institutional practices that encourage the widespread solicitation and use of illegal inside information, and institutional indifference to unlawful conduct resulting in insider trading that was substantial, pervasive, and on a scale without known precedent in the hedge fund industry.
Not surprisingly, every firm has lots of good and bad in it. There's strengths and weaknesses in every culture, strengths and weaknesses and capabilities in every institution. Crisis tends to focus people on the bad things, and our firm was no exception. However, when you get beneath that, there were a lot of good things, and I had a lot to build on. So it wasn't like there weren't a tremendous number of positive things to work from.
How do you change a culture when the top guy is still the top guy? And there was criticism of the culture when the top guy was the top guy before.
Sure. Like I said, there's a lot of strengths in the company culture, and there are tremendous strengths in Steve as a person. So building with the top guy still in place is really about finding the strengths of the person and the organization, and not just Steve, right? The whole management team and the investment professionals. Finding all those strengths and building around those.
That's a happy ending for SAC, now Point72. Forensic Talk with Jim Campbell. In-depth looks at big crime stories. Exclusive interviews only on Forensic Talk with Jim Campbell.